course, members of the press. I'm really happy that to be here today for this program that was. And last year when they invited me, I didn't go. But I'm really happy that I'm here today in Calcutta. Thank you for that. Being essentially an incubation person, I personally feel that startups are the key for a dynamic ecosystem. Now, I honestly, traveling around the country, seeing a lot of things, I'm a little allergic to reading a lot of statistics. So my simple statistics on ecosystem is the feel-good factor. So when we talk of how things are happening, I talk to the youngsters and ask them, how are the things happening? And that's my feel-good factor. And when I debuted my office as advisor to IIT in 2003, and I came to a college in Calcutta. I still remember my parent ministry, DST, telling me, what the hell are you doing? And I said, I think if I'm really worth something, I should be able to do something in an ordinary college. IITs can fend for themselves. And the Joint Secretary said that, Mr. Dutta, I think you have never worked in a college. I said, no, I haven't, but I'll try. But what essentially I found was the fantastic response from students. That was a time when I had involved Dr. Gautama, and I know him from that time. And then subsequently I was also with West Bengal University of Technology, where I set up the TDI. I also pulled him into there. And what I find is that in EIITF, in WBUT, the college incubation, we had a fantastic story. The story was about an NRI who came down to India in 2000. He came to me when I was in IIT, asking me that he would get into 3G. And we said that technically we can support you. Then he comes back to me and says, do you think I should get into 3G? I said, no, I don't think you should get into 3G. You're too small a person to get into 3G. And this was in 2001. And he actually think about it, he's a telecom expert. He's a NRI, he's in the US for 18 years, he's worked in that area for 18 years. He has his company in the US. I said, it's your choice. And then he comes to me when I'm in Xavier's, he says that I don't want to do all that, but I want to set up a call center training setup. I said, do you know anything about call center training? He said, I BPU call center training. I said, go ahead and do it. He said, I will get an office in Shonapur or somewhere. I said, no, that won't work. He said, I can't get an office in Park Street. I said, I'll get you. I got in a place in St. Xavier's, and the good part was that he stayed back. He didn't go back to US. And I think that has been a greater success. There have been other successes, things like students from IIT, gold medalists, Stanford, came to EIITF for incubation, fellow from Imperial College, Ericsson's 8 years in Sweden, came to EIITF for incubation and are still there. But why aren't they growing? Why aren't we having 20 such people or 30 such people? Why shouldn't there be a growth in terms of word of mouth? And this is something I would request all of you to think. I think there's some great people sitting in the audience who are equally concerned. I've been speaking to a very large company day before yesterday, a senior chap in a multinational, and they all know what is the problem. It's not that I am the only person who knows about it. They all know. They have all told me that we are ready to work with education institutions. We are going to participate in the skill set training, everything. So why not do that? Now there are certain things about a startup which I would like to share with you, because There are other parts of the startups which you are all aware, so I need not go there. One thing is, a startup is a person with a lot of pride. He's not looking for a handout. I mean, this is one thing which the first thing I go to an academic institution and I tell them, they are not coming here for a handout. And don't treat them that I have no time, so please hang on for 2 hours. He may be a small man financially, but he's an independent guy. He's not looking for a job. He's not come to you for a job. If you don't have time, tell him at an earlier instance that don't come today or come tomorrow or whatever it is. One is that he is not come for a handout. Number two is, this startup is a small chap who is looking for network exposures. He is looking at somebody like me to get him a network by which he can reach Mr. Siddharth or Dr. Gautam. He doesn't know that. But he thinks, and I also think probably if he can reach these gentlemen, he can benefit out of it. He's looking for it. The startup is a guy who is essentially going to create wealth for the community, for the state, for the nation. That is something we must keep in mind. And that is what we are all looking for. I work for Technopart also, Kerala. And in Technopart, it's a wonderful case of a guy called Sanjay. And Sanjay is a great friend, youngster. And he's got an $8 million VC funding last year. He said that first time when he came in the second year, he came to Technopart looking for a space. He said, he had no money. And it's a government-run facility. And they sort of convinced these guys and all that. And they got a facility and sort of a deferred payment, which subsequently they did not take. And today is a great startup. So these are to be factored in. There are issues also with startups. The issues are very clear issues. The startup finds it difficult after a stage to keep the team together. There's a team. So, the organizational mechanism is not all that perfect. So, they need help to keep the team together. That's where the mentor comes. There has to be a mentor. Now, who is a mentor? Now, in academic institutions, they will say this professor is a mentor. I honestly don't know. It is for the startup to say that I have confidence in this man that he will be my mentor. I cannot tell the startup that guy is going to be a mentor. Then there is a thing like managing his cash flow. Now, for example, in the UK, CEDA is the core agency which funds federal funding for startups across the country. Now, one of the CEDA fund is given through RDAs, Regional Development Authority. Now, RDAs, the fellow who disburses the fund, he puts a guy from RDA into the organization just for fund flow. Because it has been identified there's a crucial area where after some time the startup fails. And number three is that once the startup starts getting some business, they ramp up too fast. And when you ramp up too fast, chances of going for a nosedive is also very high. So the mentor has to come in. So we here, and with the support of industry, and when the industry is thinking along the same lines, could think along the same lines too. I will finish here, but before I do, I take the opportunity with the Honourable Minister being here. Sir, for the last 9 months, I am working on a project of the Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority. As a member of the core expert group, we are 3 members of the core expert group. on innovation park which is spread over 5,000 acres next to Bombay, and a project cost of 12,000 crores. So the basic plan has been already done. Obviously it's a park which has various domains, and what you just spoke about, chiefs and real estate is also a domain. When we were talking about these programs, about who is coming to the park and how the park will design and all, and I said that, having said all that, and that part is very important as to who comes in, who brings in the actual technology and all that, but it is also important to realize that people in the country must directly benefit from such an investment in the park, because the investment in the park is not the park itself. The MMRDA, they are building a sea link from Nariman Point to Ural and an expressway to this point. There is an expressway from this point to Kharghar, the new international airport, and there is also the metro coming in from Nariman Point to this point. So there is a huge amount of investment they are going to put in there. But the point is that this matter has been taken into account, that startups have to be given the priority of space in that very park. So it is the startup, it is the ecosystem which also needs to be looked at. I am so happy to hear both from Mr. Siddharth and the Honourable Minister what the government of West Bengal has done in the IT field, and I also look forward to seeing it grow, and I wish myself, Bengal and all of us all the best.